And happy Good Friday to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade. We've made it to the big Easter weekend. A lot of you have plans potentially with family, friends. Maybe they're coming in town. Maybe you're leaving town to go and visit them and enjoy some time. But if you are going to be out and about in and around H-Town, there are some major weather changes headed our way for this weekend. So I just wanted to give you an update on some issues that could potentially impact your holiday weekend plans as far as the weather is concerned. Right now, nothing too bad showing up. We are dealing with the warmth and the humidity and the wind, that strong breeze out of the south, but no major problems right now. Temperatures in the middle to upper 80s for Houston, 82 in Pearland, 80 degrees in Galveston, and low to middle 80s up towards Missouri City and over around Sugar Land. So the warmth definitely there. We are sizzling out there. At least we're not talking about 90s or triple digits just yet, but it is certainly warm, muggy, and breezy. Clouds continue to get a bit thicker as well. There have been some peaks of sunshine here or there, but overall partly sunny to mostly cloudy conditions will stick around. As far as temps right now, like I said, we're in the middle 80s for Houston. We've got that wind howling out there, blowing in out of the south at 17 miles per hour, and dew points close to 70. So the air is certainly feeling very sticky and steamy and muggy out there. So you will have to worry about the humidity. If you have a hair appointment, maybe preparing for Easter Sunday, you're going to have a time out there. That muggy air may cause some problems to whatever hairstyle you're trying to get. Wind gusts out there are near 30 miles per hour for most spots, and that wind will keep blowing in from the south, staying fairly strong, not just for your evening plans, but through the late night hours and for much of Saturday as well. Wind gusts over the next 12 hours showing up right around 25 miles per hour for most of these time frames, and that will continue to be the case likely through much of the weekend. Another issue that we have to worry about will be the very high risk for rip current. So we've got a high rip currents risk advisory. This is going to be between now and Sunday evening around 8 p.m. So if you're planning a trip to Galveston Beach or some other area beaches, you probably don't want to get in the water. And if you do, you have to be extremely careful, extremely cautious, because those rip currents will likely be an issue. You may be asking yourself, well, what is a rip current? Well, it's basically a very fast flowing ocean current, a very narrow current of water that is flowing away from the coast. So you can be out in the water having a great time, things look fine, but you can quickly get swept away from shore in one of these rip currents. So you see where it says escape route here. You don't want to stay stuck in that rip current because that can be very dangerous. You want to try to float, tread water, try to get out of it, and then try to swim parallel to the shore, and then once you get out of it, swim back towards the shore. So here's how you can stay safe. You need to first of all swim near beach patrol or lifeguard. So if you are going to get in the water, which if there's a high rip currents risk, it's probably best not to, but if you're going to take a chance and get in the water, make sure that a lifeguard, beach patrol close by. Also, if you get stuck in a rip current, you want to relax because rip currents don't usually pull you under the water, but you need to try to float or tread that water if you can escape. Now, if you do want to try to escape, if you feel you're strong enough, try not to swim against the current. You want to swim out of the current and then to shore. So once again, don't swim against the current, swim out of the current and then try to get back to shore safely. If you need help, yell or wave for assistance if you're struggling and you can't get out of that rip current. But the best thing to do is to avoid being in the rip current altogether. So if there's a high rip currents risk like we have, it's probably a good idea if you're going to the beach to maybe just look at the water, maybe not get in the water. But here's your forecast for Galveston between 6 to 8 p.m. for beach time. Maybe you're going for some dinner, going to run some other errands. Around 80 degrees by 6, 78 by 7, and 75 degrees by 8 o'clock with those wind gusts likely near 25 miles per hour. So overall, this weekend's weather will be up and down and all around. So we've got warm and windy Easter Weekend weather setting up. Showers, storms, and bursts of heavier rain are going to be a good bet for parts of the weekend. I think the biggest impacts will be felt on Easter Sunday, unfortunately. Why is this happening? Well, the weather has been so calm and quiet for really the last few weeks for the most part, but now we're seeing a huge dip in the jet stream. The jet stream is basically a river of air in the upper levels of the atmosphere that typically flows from west to east, but sometimes you see these big dips in the jet, and they help to kind of steer storm systems, and they can bring down some very nasty, rowdy, active weather. So you can see that jet stream taking that dip across the plains between Saturday, between Sunday, and that is what will cause our weather to go downhill, unfortunately. Right now, still fairly quiet across the state. It is scorching hot out there. Temps close to triple digits for a few spots, including Laredo, 95 degrees, upper 80s for parts of Houston. But look up towards the Texas Panhandle, Amarillo, 57 degrees. So we do have some cooler air starting to dip into the state, but we will stay on the warm side of things, awaiting that next major storm system still currently across the Central Plains. So rain chances will only be around 20% for Saturday, jumping up to 60% for Sunday. And then we'll still keep a decent chance for rain around for Monday and Tuesday. And then we're back up to that 60% shot for rain and storms by the middle of next week on Wednesday. So the pattern setting up for Easter weekend will feature a high chance for flash flooding, heavy rain, especially north and west of Houston. So we're going to be on the edge of that. We will get some bursts of heavier rain, but I think overall our flood threat should be very low. But if you're driving up towards Dallas, Fort Worth, OKC, up into parts of northwestern Arkansas, even up towards St. Louis, that is where that flash flood risk will be a lot higher in that moderate 3 out of 4 categories. So that is where problems will start to pile up with heavy rain and street flooding likely as we go through the weekend. Easter Sunday looking a little dicey with severe storms possible from just north of Houston all the way up through parts of Louisiana, northeast Texas, and up into Arkansas and western Mississippi. So this is going to be the area to watch, the area in yellow for severe storms popping up for Easter Sunday. We will be on the edge of it once again, but of course it's going to be a close call. So keep checking back. Make sure to download our Fox Local app, a free streaming app for your phone. Lots to see, lots to do on there, so check it out. Weather setup today will keep the severe threat off to our north and west. Once again, if you're driving up towards the Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington area, you may run into some messy weather, but here in H-Town, we should keep things quiet at least through the rest of today and tonight. Weather setup as far as the severe threat through the rest of today keeps that chance for severe storms over towards Wichita Falls, slim shot for Dallas, and over towards Austin and San Angelo. There may be a brief shower or storm, but overall the severe threat will mainly be well to our north and west. Heading into tomorrow, there will be a better chance for some strong storms getting closer to College Station, but overall the severe threat should stay out of the Houston area. Now here's where we will become a part of that severe threat. This is going to be Easter Sunday, especially during the afternoon and evening. Notice it's a low chance, but there's a 1 out of 5 risk for a few severe storms stretching from northern Harris County, Atascocita, Cypress, up into Montgomery County, the Woodlands, Conroe, and up towards Walker County. That would include you in Huntsville, and even over towards Shepherd, Liberty, and back towards Navasota and College Station. So we do have the threat for maybe some hail, some damaging wind, a very low tornado risk. That would be for Sunday. So our Fox Model Futurecast shows the main action staying back west as we kick off our holiday weekend. Saturday morning, Easter egg hunts looking good here. Notice there's not much rain showing up, but back up towards Abilene, San Angelo, and even getting close to the Dallas area, there will be a much higher chance for some heavy rain and storms. But I think most of Saturday looking good. Even Saturday night, 9 p.m., models only showing a few light rain showers in and around Houston. Heading into Sunday though, Easter Sunday morning, the showers will start to increase a bit, but the heaviest still stays back west. And I think it's going to be Sunday afternoon between about 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. where we'll start to see a lot more action bubbling up off and on, a better chance for those scattered downpours and maybe a few strong storms. So Easter Sunday shaping up to be a little on the wet side, off and on, temps in the low to middle 80s, and there will be about a 60% chance that, yes, your plans could be impacted or delayed by some heavier bursts of rain. Between the 2 days this weekend, Saturday definitely looking like the better outdoors day versus Sunday. So if your holiday plans are on Saturday, maybe an Easter egg hunt, we got a giant picnic going on, we got a 5K, we got tons of events going on across the city. Saturday events looking pretty good. Now for Sunday, we'll be monitoring for the risk of maybe a few storms producing some severe 60-70 mile per hour winds and the threat for some severe hail. That would be quarter size or larger. Otherwise, plan on more heat heading our way, especially as we go into next week, Thursday through Monday, April 28th. So really taking us through almost the end of April. Temps are going to be sizzling. The heat is on, and we are going to stay in that above normal category as far as our temperatures are concerned. Rain, it looks like we could get a little above the norm with rainfall, nothing extreme, but overall we will have some decent rounds of rain to get through, especially for much of next week. We'll have a chance for rain and storms pretty much almost every single day. So get ready for a pattern change this weekend. Hopefully you have a wonderful holiday weekend, but keep in mind the weather could get unsettled and it could get a little dangerous at times with maybe a few severe storms Sunday evening. So make sure to download our free streaming app, Fox Local, and also keep checking back as we update your holiday weekend forecast. Well, stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Once again, I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade.